Build your own home. This is the full owner build strategy where you can skip the contractor and build your own house and retain the equity or sell it for profit. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most advantageous things you can do as a US American is build your own home. Because of the tax laws and capital gains taxes, the advantageous side for you is to be able to own the equity of that home. And most people don't realize it's the best tax strategy that most people have. In fact, if you're a married couple and if you can build a house and retain $500,000 in equity in it, you can take that $500,000 of equity tax-free. If you're a single individual building a home, you can take up to $250,000 of equity tax-free. Now, this house that I stand in today will probably hold an equity stance of about $180,000 in net equity if you bought the land, you built the house, and sold it for profit. Now, the house will appreciate over time. So as that house appreciates, if that equity goes from 180 up to 250 over the course of 5 years, 7 years, 8 years, you get to sell that home provided you move into another place and retain the money that you take in gains as income with $0 in capital gains taxes, tax-free. Now, there's multiple ways to do this. This is the full breakdown strategy of how you take down an owner build. The banks will not lend money to somebody that does not have any experience at all to be able to buy a piece of land, build a house, and sell it for profit. The state, in most states you live in, won't allow you to get permits on a house because they want to make sure that for consumer purposes that they can go in and hold a contractor liable for buying a piece of land, building a house, and getting it to an end consumer with a warranty and a good quality product. Now, if you're just a homeowner, you build it and you sell it, there's not really a lot of recourse on you. So when you go in and you buy a piece of land and you do it as an owner build just starting out, you are gaining the experience. And for a lot of you guys that want to do it at profit, you will be leveraged to go out and hire a general contractor. Now, there's multitudes of ways to hire a general contractor. We happen to call it the process of 30. I'm not going to go through that today in this video. There is another video that I'll recommend at the end of this video that you can click and watch, and you can get the information on how to hire a contractor from start to finish. But for an owner build process, you retaining the profitability and the equity without having to pay a general contractor, you can go in and get a conventional loan at 80% loan to value or loan to cost. We'll hit on that in just a second. Or you can go in and get a government assisted loan and do an FHA loan, and it's a one-time closed loan. It's a construction to perm loan through FHA where you give 5% down on the equity and 95% leverage to be able to go out and build the actual home. Now, whichever you decide, they're both great options. Most people think that that equity has to come from out of their pockets. You can go in and you can actually leverage the purchase of the land and the build through the bank, provided that you go in and you have the debt to income ratio and the actual credit to be able to take down the build. But the bank is actually looking predominantly at the value of the asset. They won't tell you that because this house right here, an end user is going to come in and they're going to buy it. And the caveat to this home for the bank is that it's not an income producing property. There's no rent and there's no income on this property. So from the banking perspective, they're looking at you and you predominantly on an owner build because you are the income that's going to service the debt of this asset. Now, if you're doing it as an investment and you're going in to sell it, once you do gain the experience, it's the contrary. They're looking at the overall value of the asset. Now, they're looking at the overall value of the asset on both ends. They're not telling you they are because they have you under a telescope and an owner build to make sure you have a job that produces enough income and enough expendable income to pay the mortgage. Typically, a 50% debt to income ratio that they're looking for with most clients. That includes your car payments, that includes your house, and that includes your credit cards. So be mindful of that if you're doing an owner build. Now, I like to stay in excess of $600,000 because the equity spread on homes in excess of $600,000 is larger. The larger the equity spread, the lower the liability for the bank. The larger the equity spread, the least amount of out-of-pocket cost you have as an end user because there's less liability for the bank. Because the bank is also looking at the value of the asset itself, not just you. They're having you under a telescope telling you that they're looking at only you because you're the only recourse they have if you don't finish that build. So your income, you personally, your assets, and your credit score historically. So they are going to have you under a telescope. Now, what's cool about the loans that are available for end users, though, is you have less out-of-pocket cost, where traditionally as an investor, they're going to give you somewhere between 60% and 75% loan to value or loan to cost. The difference between the two is the loan to value of the asset when completed in construction and ready to go to the open market. Loan to cost is the loan of what it cost you to buy the land, build the house, the raw cost of the lumber, and all building materials and labor associated with stabilizing and finishing that house. When we go in and we underwrite these houses, the biggest mistake most people make is they make their loan to cost lower than they need to. And so then they put themselves at a high stake of liability, because if they don't get to the finish line with that home, they have to fund it out of pocket. So what I always tell people is you have to have contingencies built into that build. The banks know this, they understand this, and they also want you to finish that build, because if you don't, the house becomes a liability to the bank, not an asset. So contrary to popular beliefs where you want to try to bring your costs down to save money, they want the overall equity. And they want a finished project at the end of the day. So the bankers will actually ask you before you facilitate the final loan if this is your final budget sheet and if you have enough money in that budget sheet to finish the build. So long as the overall appraised value is greater than your overall cost of the land and cost to build, you're in a very good place. Make sure that your budget spreadsheet holds contingency money in there so you can get to the finish line. I always advise people, do not utilize that contingency money for personal use. That's money laundering. You can get indicted and you can go to prison for money laundering, and nobody wants to take that to the finish line and have that liability. So make sure that you take the build to the finish line and you take that equity and truly utilize it as contingency money, provided that you need it. Now, you underwrite it right and you have the right price per square foot to build, and you go out and vet your subcontractors and get bids on your build. It's as simple as taking your product to market. You take finished architecture, you take it to market, you retain the bids back, you have multiple bids, and you get supporting bids from reputable companies. You can go in and turnkey, take that budget to the bank, and now you have the ability to leverage an owner build from start to finish and successfully produce a finished project with equity in it that now you retain. Once it's stabilized, you're paying that mortgage. Now those profits are for you to decide what you want to do with. You want to go in and you want to just hold that asset with that equity and have a low mortgage payment and a better quality of life, that's up to you. If you want to take that money and you want to take that equity and leverage it in a home equity line of credit, provided you finish that house completely and you get a stabilized mortgage on it, you can do that and then scale it into a business. You can do that too. Most people will sit on the equity, and when they sell the house, take it out tax-free. If you get a home equity line of credit, you can also leverage that tax-free because it's not earned income, it's a loan. And when you recapture those gains post-construction, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road, that is tax-free money that goes down to your bottom line into your checking account, tax-free with no capital gains. Owner builds are a great strategy to get in the real estate game, own equity, and increase your net worth. That is one of the best strategies in real estate to get started in the ground up game if you don't know where to start. Look, ladies and gentlemen, for more content just like this, more real estate hacks, and more ways to secure your financial future in real estate, click and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Comment down below if you're watching this for a second time, #repeat, and give us a little bit of love and smash that thumbs up button. Click and subscribe, and I'll see you on the other side.